Let's get started. I'd like to introduce KYZEN's Global Product Line Manager, Joe McChesney.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Remember when the movies used to show the previews of coming attractions, and that's when you could actually get into them anymore? Today, we're going to take a spin off of that and discuss what we consider are the coming EPA restrictions on solvent vapor degreasing. Solvent cleaning does have a future. However, that future will be different. If you're using solvent, you already know that federal laws governing the use of hazardous cleaning solvents such as NPB, TCE, methylene chloride, perchloroethylene, and others are regulated by both the EPA and OSHA. What you may not be aware of is that chemical risk evaluations for any new laws regarding specific substances are often influenced by the following organizations and others. The main one is the ACGIH, American Conference of Government Industrial Hygienists. This is an organization that advances occupational and environmental health recommendations. It recommends threshold limit values for occupational exposure guidelines. There's other organizations that the EPA refers to: the International Agency on Research on Cancer, the American Association for Cancer Research, the Sierra Club, and many other more organizations dedicated to our health. EPA has the Toxic Substance Control Act called TSCA. And the EPA evaluates potential risk for chemicals used in the United States. And in June 2018, the EPA published documents which defined the scope of risk for 10 chemicals. And of those 10 chemicals, 5 of them were common degreasing solvents used in the market: NPB, methylene chloride, NMP, perchloroethylene, and trichloroethylene are those 5 solvents. And the risk associated with those is what the EPA looks at from the environmental health, safety, and concerns. Let's fast forward to TSCA in 2020. The EPA this year has finalized chemical risk evaluations for these 5 solvents. In February, basically due to toxic vapors, TCE. In April, PERC. In June, methylene chloride. In August, NPB. And October, NMP. You can see they're moving at a fairly fast pace. Every 2 to 3 months, they're releasing the chemical risk evaluations. If you're using any of these solvents, we strongly recommend you obtain and review the final chemical risk evaluation for your solvent, because most of these contain direct statements that the EPA has determined the use of these substances presents unreasonable risk to human health. And we all know that that's dire consequences. There's a selective phase out going around the globe for these solvents. As they change, you will be affected by it. Once the final risk evaluations are released, what happens next? Well, first, the step is required by TSCA in developing a plan to reduce or eliminate the unreasonable risk identified in the final risk evaluation. And there's panels and experts that make up these risk evaluations. And most of the time, it's not reducing it, it is eliminating that particular product. The EPA is moving immediately to risk management for these chemicals and will work as quickly as possible to propose and finalize actions to protect workers and occupational non-users. The time frame for this: once the risk evaluation is released to the public, the proposed rule to either regulate or eliminate that substance is due 1 year from the official release. The final rule is due 2 years from the official release. So you have time to consider, but change is going to happen. Once these risk evaluations are out, these solvents are going to be regulated either more severely or eliminated. So what you look for is EH&S concerns first. If you have to replace or modify your process, always look for EH&S concerns. The solvent process: do you stay with solvent or do you change to a different process? How will change affect your production issues? And the total cost of operation is all important. So what do you want to accomplish? Well, first, you want to make things better, and you want to move to environmentally green cleaning processes. You want to find the right financial balance. Calculate the end cost of all alternatives: the cost of compliance, the cost to change the process, the cost of quality, and the cost of operations. All these factors come into play. And remember, the EPA clock is always ticking. So look before you leap. because the cost of failure can be dramatic and disruptive in your operations. If you're stuck looking for an answer, KYZEN can help. And the best deal of the day, our help is free. So feel free to ask for technical support. Non-compliance is not an option, because while the future of any forecast is uncertain, the move to phase out these solvents is certain and underway now, as you saw the time frame. Don't be caught waiting. You might ask yourself, what are my viable options to consider? Well, you can convert to an alternate solvent using your existing degreasing system and change the solvent inside. You can convert from solvent cleaning to an aqueous process, or you could look at vacuum degreasing technology. We're going to discuss those options briefly. If you future-proof your option number one, you could replace your existing solvent with another type in your existing degreaser. The most common on the market today, and basically approved currently by the EPA, are transblend solvents, HFOs, and HFEs. However, transblend may have future issues and it's already being looked at in Europe. A new modern degreaser may be required. The new degreasers are solvent conservative, they're energy efficient, automated process control, and they have improved EH&S concerns. Another option is to convert the process from solvent to aqueous if possible. Aqueous systems vary in sizes and shapes and types. You batch washer tanks, multiple tank lines, vertical lift bed washers, spray cabinets, rotary basket washers, rotary drum washers, belt washers. You may already have some of these systems in your plant already and be familiar with them, but there is a wide variety to choose from. However, if you're looking to go from solvent to aqueous, homework is required. The aqueous systems have several different advantages, but they also have some disadvantages. So you need to understand each item and how it would affect your production, your material handling, your process, your quality levels, and cost of operations. We can provide technical assistance if desired to help you understand all these issues and look forward. Waste streams in the wash tanks, there's a wide variety of parts that contribute to this. The soils and oils that go into the bath, the makeup chemistry, the soil removal to keep the bath fresh or renewed, the exhaust emissions that go out have to be considered, the makeup water coming in. Take the soil out or you dump the bath. Rinse tanks are basically the same. If you use an aqueous process, most people have to have 1 or 2 rinse tanks. That rinse water gets dirty. Think about washing dishes, so you have to keep that rinse water clean. Do you recycle or take it to drain, or you dump it periodically? The options in the rinse tanks consider heat, pumps, compressed air, sonics to help you remove the wash agent that you're rinsing off. There's also exhaust emissions as part of this process that you must be considered, and your makeup water. What type of water is coming in? Is it city water, RO water, or DI water? How clean do your parts have to be affects your makeup water? Another option is future-proof is looking at the converting to vacuum degreasing technology. You can use modified alcohol or hydrocarbon. And as previously stated, there's a wide variety of vendors, models, and features to consider. If you consider vacuum degreasing, it's an ideal performance for the goals. It's excellent cleaning choice for a wide range of soils. It has the ability to clean and dry parts without separating them. It's continuous removal of contaminants from the bath. It isolates the operator from the process, and this is a safety plus. The benefits of vacuum degreasing: ultra low emissions in a sealed system, low chemical consumption. You use the chemical over and over again. You don't have to replace it. The concentration of soils is reducing the waste stream going out, so you're not throwing away your good cleaning chemistry. Only the soil is removed. You recycle the solvent. Again, you're not throwing away the chemistry. And the ability to pull a vacuum to enhance drying and reduce carryout is my personal favorite, that these systems are really excel at that method. You can go from challenging parts to clean and dry parts in 9 to 15 minutes. And these are unretouched photos of actual parts processed in a vacuum degreaser. Much easier and better performance than aqueous systems. Vacuum degreasing provides ideal performance in a wide variety of parts, shapes, and sizes, and different types of materials. This is very difficult to take and clean and dry and de-chip these parts in an aqueous process. It meets environmental compliance. Modified alcohol is a non-hazardous, biodegradable organic solvent. It's been around for a number of years and has a lot of compliances from different global organizations. The EPA confirmed it is not a HAP, and it's not flammable by an NFPA classification. And it's proven compliant to ISO specs for in vitro cytotoxicity for medical use. All these operations of the vacuum degreasing, there's no processed water used. It's a single process chemistry. There's no chemical monitoring or mixing, reduced energy, no multiple chemicals for various products such as the aqueous systems, reduced floor space, reduced process time, and nothing to drain. All this improves your performance and operational cost. Why solvent? The old adage that solvent cleans better, faster, and in more restrictive places than water can ever reach is still true. Vacuum degreasing meets the process requirements with maximum efficiency, and it yields cost-effective results. Vacuum degreasing is the fastest growing global cleaning technology in today's world in regard to cleaning the traditional degreasing solvents. The summary, you still have time to make your plans, but remember the clock is ticking. Examine your alternatives. Accept the EH&S challenges that come with this change. Get expert advice from a business you can trust. Find the right financial choice, and please look before you leap. Thank you, and that concludes our session for today.
Thank you, Joe. If you'd like to discuss this topic further, please contact your local KYZEN regional manager or send an email to tech@KYZEN.com, and we'll have someone schedule a follow-up with you as soon as possible. Again, we thank you all for taking time to join us today, and we hope to see you again soon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.